Hey guys, want to bring you another YouTube video. So just want to give you my final thoughts, reactions, predictions, and why I think the bookmakers have the Niners as favorites still, even at some books at -1.5 to 2.5. So definitely need to shop around for lines. But yeah, I definitely think the reason is so a lot of people put money on the futures for the Niners, and so the way I think that they're trying to offset it to balance off is to actually make it more enticing with the Chiefs. The other thing is they, I believe, go based on power rankings. So obviously the Niners were favored throughout the year because they were the number one power rank team, and obviously they had that hot start at the very beginning. And so I thought that was very interesting to be able to start that way. And um, I think because of the last two games, the way the Niners play, I also think when they got beat really bad against the Ravens and the three games that they were on a losing streak, they kind of dipped, but were always still favorite against their opponents. I think they're the fifth team to be um, favorite throughout the whole season against their opponent. So yeah, I think that is one of the biggest thing because you always want to try balance off, especially with the juice. And so there's a huge liability for the futures, but now I think with a lot of first time bettors, especially with the Swifties effect, that they're betting on the Chiefs. Um, do I agree? Honestly, I think it could have been really a pick 'em. No plus points on either side. So I really thought that when I saw it open at -1.5 on my book, I was surprised. But then it dropped to -1. I was like, all right, I'll take the Niners at -1. Because either way, if I believe the Niners could win this game, then yeah, they should be able to get 1 point or more. Um, so I think that that's the biggest thing, the liability because of the futures for the Niners. Because like I said, going into the season, the Niners had a lot of money riding on them. There's still some sharp money, I think, on both sides, but a lot of big money on the Niners. I think there's $1 million bet on the Niners currently for the money line. Um, I think also on the spread, I think there's a $500,000 on the Niners. I think -1.5 or something. Over and under, I think everybody's saying that's priced pretty well. That hasn't moved, but definitely the spread has moved. But yeah, I really thought it should have been picked them, especially the way the Chiefs have been hot going in, and then the way the Niners have had to battle back and win. Now, I think it's been a great week for the Super Bowl so far. Going to the NFL experience later today. Um, I think Christian McCaffrey winning the Offensive Player of the Year, that's great. It's kind of interesting to see Christian McCaffrey third place overall for the votes, and then Brock Purdy fourth place. That's could be some bulletin material for the Niners, I would say, because you have Dak Prescott finishing second overall and was eliminated the first round. I really think these regular season awards should be passed out before the wild card weekend. Because I feel like that's very embarrassing and very hard, especially if you're MVP and don't even make it to the big game. For the other awards like Coach of the Year and all that, I definitely because Coach of the Year, I feel like you had to overcome a lot. I would have not given to Kyle Shanahan because you were expected to be kind of this far. Dan Campbell, honestly, I don't think he would have got it for that reason. And then who else? Yeah, there. Um, I would say who else would have been good? Yeah, I would have said um, DeMarco Ryans would have been a good candidate. I thought he could have won Coach of the Year because going from picking second overall to being in the playoffs is a huge accomplishment. I thought the Browns, yeah, they lost Deshaun Watson, but you also had the Defensive Player of the Year with you. So we'll see. I think the Browns could be up and coming too. Definitely harder on the AFC side. So I'm going to break down my logic. I know a lot of people wants to see Kyle Shanahan and Christian McCaffrey to win it because I guess those two guys obviously grew up around football. They're kind of, I'm not going to say they're football royalty, but they're part of the football family, especially Kyle Shanahan with his dad, Mike Shanahan, and then Ed McCaffrey. So both of those guys were part of the Niners. Um, so, but then ended up going to the Broncos together and stuff like that and winning a Super Bowl there too. So, reason why I took -1 right away, like I said, I haven't seen, even like when we had Jimmy G 4 years ago, there's a reason why you had to stay ahead. If you were behind at any point, it's almost like you knew you had no chance to get back in the game. Like when we were up against the Rams, 10 points, and then we needed Jimmy G to get within that scoring range at that last drive. Couldn't do it. Same thing with the Super Bowl. He missed that shot to Emmanuel Sanders. That still haunts me, actually, as a Niners fan. That's why I feel like this is a redemption story for the Niners. There's some key players that are no longer with the Chiefs, and then there are some key additions with the Niners. I think things are kind of flipped. So the Niners' defense was a lot better 4 years ago, I feel like. And then the Niners' offense weren't as good back then, but I feel like they're better. The Chiefs' offense, I felt like, was better then, and their defense wasn't as good. So that's why I thought they could win, which kind of proved that the Niners were up. But now the Chiefs don't have Hill, Sammy Watkins, and then I forgot the wide receiver. I think it was Damian something. Williams, I think. Damian Williams. But I know that they've had Pacheco and Rice. Those are two upgrades, I would say. Or they found them being more useful. But I don't. I feel like you have to focus on three players on the Chiefs: Pacheco, Kelsey, and Rice. I feel like you could have Ward on Rice the whole time. I feel like you could have like maybe Fred Warner or Trey Greenlaw spy on either Kelsey or Pacheco. You focus those three guys, make Mahomes use the other guys. I feel like if we're going to lose, I prefer to lose to the nobodies. I want to see if you can make the nobodies that cost you games throughout the year, like Kadarius Toney, Scantling. I mean, I lost money because he dropped the ball near the end zone, just like Emmanuel Sanders. So I think those guys could show up where the lights are too big for some of them, like that. And then for me, I feel like with the Niners, I know their defense has been called out, especially with their effort. So I think with that, I feel like they know what they have to correct. I think the biggest thing was effort. Because once they came out to the second half and made the adjustments, they took care of the fourth downs and third downs, big ones, because they were getting gashed. Yeah, they gave up some big runs, but they didn't bend like gave up too many points compared to the first half. So you definitely, I think if they could actually start ahead or don't get too far behind, you cannot be down 17 or 10 points. I think if you're down at any point more than 10 points against the Chiefs, it's going to be really hard to come back because of they could run the ball then, and then you got the Chiefs defense. So I would definitely, because I think the biggest thing you could do against the Chiefs defense, run the ball. That's the biggest thing. That's what I felt like we did really well first time we met them in the Super Bowl. Run the ball. We have a better running back. Run the ball. I think it's going to open up things with play action and stuff like that. The screen, Debo. I mean, Elijah Mitchell should be fresh. You got three good running backs that could actually help make things easier for Brock. I'm not saying Brock can't do it, but I think you want to limit Brock to have those potential interceptions. You want him to be able to have that play action with the big throw down the field or something because they're stacking up. Because Spagnola thinks it's going to be a run or something and they're going to blitz. Brock does really well against the blitz, which is ironic. He doesn't do too well against the zone. I don't think Spags like to play the zone because he has three good cornerbacks. So get those rubs going, the cross and stuff. I think you could definitely take care of the Chiefs defense. They're not the best defense of all time. I feel like that's why when we were at the opening ceremony, a lot of Niners fans were booing Chris Jones for that reason. Like, I think this could be a rivalry in the Super Bowl. Like, if we get this, I feel like there could be round 3 eventually again. So yeah, I think it's going to be a very close game. As long as Mahomes does not get the ball last, I feel like we're good. I feel even comfortable, even if we're down and we have the ball last. I think that's how we might end up winning it. So I feel like whoever has the ball last could win it. Control the ball, run the ball, try to keep Mahomes off the field as much as possible. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. I think Kyle Shanahan needs to play with our strength against their weakness on offense. I know that they don't like to do things on their defense. Like I said, Mahomes struggles more against the man than the zone. If it's a zone, Kelsey and Mahomes could shred us in that way. Let me know if you think I'm crazy. I know you might think I'm a homer, but I don't think that is true. I was right a couple of times close with the Ravens and Niners. The first time when we lost Kaepernick, when Michael Crabtree had it very close, that could have been a win. And then same thing with, we almost won with Jimmy G. We were up 10 points, allowed 21 points. Same thing. I think it could be that type of game. It could be close. There's a specific game plan. I know it's easier said than done, but this is the final game. You have to leave it all on the line. Chase Young, you definitely need to if you want to get paid somewhere else. I don't see the Niners paying him the way he's played, and he's been a disappointment. So Hargrave needs to show up because, like I said, that's one of the reasons why we paid you this offseason. Hopefully George Kittle's 100% with his toe. Yeah. Hopefully the the field, UNLV's not going to throw them off with their last practice today. So go ahead and hit that like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so together. And together we could build better tomorrow. And hopefully next time you see me, I'll be very happy with the Niners Super Bowl win. Thanks.